The most recent Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer has given us our closest look yet at the imminent arrival of Kang the Conqueror as well as his technology. As the next overarching threat to the greater MCU, we are slowly uncovering more information regarding this infamous tyrant, and recently, one discovery seems to connect to none other than Shang-Chi, one of the most critically acclaimed projects of Phase 4. While we know that Shang-Chi has met with the likes of Bruce Banner and Carol Danvers, his formal initiation into the Avengers roster and his future beyond Phase 4 has been left largely ambiguous. But now, we might have some more clues as to what role he is set to play thanks to Quantumania. So, stick with us today, watchers of the Marvel Multiverse, and let's dive into the connection between Shang-Chi, the Mandarin, and Kang the Conqueror, as well as explore why this might prove to be incredibly important in the coming years. This theory stems from one seemingly innocuous shot from the Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer, which bears a striking resemblance to the 10 rings. Given the stark similarities between these rings from the trailer and the 10 rings from Shang-Chi, it seems as if the rings themselves might be derived from either the quantum technology or even Kang tech, or perhaps a mixture and amalgamation of both. One important distinction to make, however, is that we don't know as of yet where this shot takes place. This might be Kang's domain, but it also might belong to Krylar and his people. And although it helps to narrow down the origin of the rings, it still leaves some ambiguity regarding who created them. This also helps to fill in many of the other blanks regarding their history and their origin, as it is largely a mystery even with Wenwu, who wielded them for the greater part of the last millennium. Let's first discuss the possibility that they belong to Krylar before delving into whether or not they might be Kang tech, and ultimately addressing how the rings might ultimately alter the course of history for Phase 5. If this technology belongs to Krylar, then it would indicate that their civilization is not as isolated as they were once led to believe, as the rings are proof of contact with the mainline universe. As of now, we don't know very much about this city aside from the fact that it's taking influence from both Chronopolis and the Quantum Zone from the original comic material. But their technological capabilities, governmental system, and future are not yet known. Since the city is located within the quantum realm, and we know that the quantum realm exists outside of time and space, then it makes sense that they could have ended up in ancient China regardless of how old the civilization actually is, as Chronopolis can access anywhere on the time stream so long as someone knows how to properly navigate it. If they belong to Kang, however, which we believe is more likely, and were forged at some point in the distant future, then it actually had significant ramifications for the future of the MCU, or rather, the past of the MCU. This connection, if it's true, would all but prove that Kang has already been to Earth and the mainline 616. The presence of the rings is firm evidence that Kang's previous adventures have taken place in the mainline universe, showing that this universe has already been visited and Kang might have already had adventures and maybe even conquests of his own in this universe. One prominent theory is that the rings once belonged to Rama Tut, a Kang variant who ruled over ancient Egypt long before the modern age. It's not unreasonable to believe that the rings could have made their way east along with the Silk Road, or perhaps another prominent trade route that existed within the MCU. And since the Eternals have helped to spread technology throughout the world, it might help to explain how they traveled so far. We know that the presence of advanced technology is nothing new for the past of the MCU, as the Asgardians, Greek, and Egyptian gods have all left relics and tools on Earth over the course of thousands of years. And this has had significant ramifications for not just human development, but likely would have helped communication and travel. But rather than delving too heavily into the past right now, let's discuss the future of the 10 rings and how they might be connected to Kang's invasion. During the post-credit scene of Shang-Chi, we learn that the rings are sending out a signal of some kind, having activated a beacon of sorts to an as of yet unknown destination, likely back to their point of origin. Until now, we largely were led to believe that they might have been calling back to Maklu 4, which was their point of origin in the comics, and many fans believe that they were simply calling out to another planet entirely. Neither Wong nor Carol Danvers recognized the technology or the energy, indicating that it is not from Earth, nor is it from anywhere in space that Danvers recognizes. While this doesn't outright mean that the rings are not from space, it does incentivize us to look elsewhere, as we previously knew that it wasn't Kree, Skrull, or Nova technology, simply because Carol Danvers does not recognize it, and that the 10 rings may not have come from space, but from the future. This new connection, however, might indicate that the rings are sending a signal down to the quantum realm, which explains why nobody present had any idea what the signal was doing. Given the newest trailer, however, we now understand exactly why sending a beacon into the quantum realm is not a good idea. Upon learning that Cassie is transmitting a signal into the quantum realm, Janet immediately shuts it down, fearing the ramifications of doing such a thing. Presumably, she is worried about the arrival of Kang following the beacon through the quantum realm. But if the rings are doing the exact same thing, then they might be the initial draw for the MCU's first Kang invasion. If the next installment of the Ant-Man franchise dives into the ramifications of calling Kang out of the quantum realm, then we might come to learn that all of their worst fears are about to come to full fruition, and Shang-Chi might be responsible for Kang's first arrival in the mainline MCU. This would draw him into the fight and place him firmly alongside veteran Avengers as the new saga commences. Not to mention, it also appears as if Miss Marvel's bangles also are Kang technology, as they also closely resemble the 10 rings as well as Kang technology, and have a strong indication that all of them are related. How she got these though is currently unknown. However, I find it highly likely that Kang is responsible for the creation of this technology, and his ability to jump across space and time into different multiverses may have resulted in the 10 rings being found by Wenwu. As to exactly how the technology made its way to Wenwu as well as Kamala is completely unknown at this point in time. But again, the similarities and what we know about Kang so far, it's simply too much to be a coincidence. And it's likely that the ramifications of a Kang has been felt across the multiverse already and reaching directly into the mainline MCU. Stay tuned later today, my friends, as we have a full breakdown on the machine that Kang is using in the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer. So you won't want to miss it as we continue to break down Kang and his imminent arrival into the mainline MCU. But anyway, my friends, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on Wenwu's 10 rings actually deriving from Kang technology, rather from a Kang variant such as Rama Tut, who has already been to the mainline MCU and conquered ancient Egypt, or whether or not somewhere on the timelines the rings were able to reach into ancient China, thanks of course to the properties of the quantum realm. As always, my friends, thank you so much for watching the video. Hit that subscribe button to assemble and join our team, and have a great day.